We are live. We are live. Let me accept everything. We're good to go. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I am incredibly well.
It is so good energy today. I think I'm feeling very energized for some reason.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably because you're still on that fire from your last week, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It would be remiss of us not to mention a certain person who you met last week, Friday.
Yes, absolutely. I think that we can say here. I mean, the most surreal thing, but like it's so lovely when you meet the people that you know for years through your work, and they really don't let you down. On the contrary, they just add to the experience. And we're talking about Bill, of course, Bill Carmody, and he's one of the people from Positive Intelligence. And at the moment, he's going around the world. And I had the opportunity to meet with him for almost a whole day on last Friday. And oh my God, that was fabulous.
I can tell from the smile on your face. I mean, obviously, I know anyway. That smile on your face kind of cements the experience that you had.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, sometimes like there is this saying is like, really don't meet your idols because you will probably
might regret it.
Leave it to what they want you to know and stuff.
Yes.
Bill is so genuine, so much fun, and so generous. Oh my God, there are no words to describe it. It was awesome. An excellent experience. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we love Bill. I didn't get to meet him in person, but thank you very much for FaceTiming us so that I had a quick chat with him. I mean, he's the kind of person who, like, that energy just draws me in anyway. Like, I'm pretty high energy. I love the vibe that just pours from him, and that's just authentic Bill, right? That's what 100%. Comes from every 100%. Pore in him, and I love that. So so we're going to just say, Bill, awesome. Sending you lots of love and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
For you and your family.
Thank you, Bill, and have a good time, in that remaining of quite a lot of days still to go to complete your 1 year around the world, which is fabulous.
Which is fantastic. Yeah.
Awesome. Sure. So what are we myth busting today?
So we are going to look at the Worthiness Wound. Ooh, I kind of love that. And when I say I love this one, I don't love it because it's because of what it represents. I kind of want to say I love it because most of us, I never like to use the word all, because that for me is just like, I don't know that. I've not spoken to every single person in the whole wide world. But I'm going to say that I believe most of us will have experienced these and use the terminology that supports the story at some point in our lives, even if we're not using it now. And the first one of those two phrases that we're going to look at today is I'm not enough.
Yep. And I think that also by itself is one of those limitations that we find underlines quite a lot of other myths. So it is quite nice to unpack one of those. I mean, that particular one, I'm not enough. And I want to say that it is more often the case that women feel like this than men. But it might really, be a myth as well. We don't know if that is exactly the case, because we have been for years now hearing this particular phrase of imposter syndrome, and that is not saved for women only. It is something that a lot of people are experiencing, and that definitely I'm not enough is definitely the cause of that imposter syndrome, because whatever you think you know, the moment you start comparing or seeing around you or whatever, that is when you start telling yourself the old story that I'm not enough, and no, who will want to hear me, and things like that. And recently I read something which was, I think, really nice. It read like this: if only the birds that had a good voice sung in the forests, then the forest would be very quiet places. And I thought that was so fantastic.
That's really interesting. And actually, as I think about that, just as you say that, because you know I love walking in the woods and I love birdsong. And what's interesting, actually, when birdsong sounds at its most beautiful is when you get these different birds coming in with their different chirps, and they cross over and they mix, and it's like that for me is like the combination of voices. That's where the richness is. And yeah, I love that. That's I don't know. Anyway, I'm feeling that at the moment. I am feeling that. But I think, like you said, this I'm not enough comes up through the constant comparison. And, you know, this is like, for me, this is like danger, danger. You want to put the red flags up every time you go into comparison mode, because what is it that you're comparing? And also shame and guilt. So, you know, if you've done things in your life that you kind of think, oh my gosh, how, why? I mean, again, if I had to write my list, we could be here for a while. But if you allow those things to rule your life, you will constantly have that sense of I'm not enough. You know, who am I because I did this, I said that. You know, who am I? You know, I don't do half of what that person does. I haven't got what that person's got. All of that stuff that plays into the I am not enough. And in terms of, you know, the saboteurs that are driving that, the judge, because the judge is always judging. Yeah, it's looking
absolutely.
for those opportunities to do all the comparing and to tell you and to reinforce that you are not enough. And it can also come through for the victim, but I also think it can come up in some of the other saboteurs too.
100%. Yeah.
Right. So I'm pulling up on those two, but I think it can come up in so many. And it is really where your view of yourself is just distorted, and it's distorted because you're looking at it through the lens of everything that's not right. You're looking at it through the lens of everything that says you haven't even done enough yet, whatever that looks like. And it is incredibly crippling to your confidence. You know, and we talk about confidence a lot, you know, the importance of confidence and how we can build it. But if we're constantly looking at ourselves through this distorted lens of what we have and haven't done, what we have and haven't got, we will never have a sense of either being satisfied or being enough. And the thing is, and I know we've said this before, Evie, we were born enough. We were born enough, period. End of. Have we made mistakes? Have we messed up? Yes. Join the rest of the world, because show me the person that hasn't, and I'd like to shake their hands. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Everybody has their thing or things that they don't really want to talk about, that they'd rather keep in the cupboard. That doesn't make them less, though. That doesn't make them less.
100%. And I mean, let's shed some light on that, because most of us, possibly, we grew up knowing that if we did something, then we would be accepted. If we did something, then we'd be loved. If we did something, and that's not because our parents or our schools or the teachers did not care for us or loved us for what we were, but they did not know how to express it. So it has always been reinforced as to, you need to do something in order to get something. There is always this
conditions.
So straight away, the moment you don't do or act or whatever it is in that ideal way, you feel that you're not enough to be loved. And that is the bottom line, right? And if you're not enough to be loved, who are you not enough to be loved? And we start by self, right? So you're not enough to be loved by yourself because, of course, you know more than anyone your own self, and you are the first one to start judging yourself, and so on and so forth. And that I mean, that was an eye opener when I heard Serjad talking about how he spoke to his children once he missed this. And because he was working through the positive intelligence lens, it's like, why do I love you? And after all the questions, the last one, and that was the one that the child, and we're talking about like a toddler, would say, because I'm me, and because I'm me. And I think that is so powerful.
Yeah.
Because that takes away all this fluff and things, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the only reason why I love you or I love me.
Yes.
Because I'm me, and that's it.
Indeed. And then all the other things, or most of those other things, are the conditioning. You know, you'll get this if you do that, like you were saying. This person will feel this way if you do this or say this. You know, that's all conditioned living. And ultimately, you know, the beauty of who we are is ingrained within us. We were born with it. Yes, life may have done some jangling with it, without a shadow of a doubt. But back to source, we were born enough. We don't have to go and do something or own something or say something in order to be able to own that. It's just choosing that I'm enough. Do I mess up? Absolutely. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. You know, we can go through all of those things, but that doesn't detract from the fact that we are enough. If you're here, if you want to really kind of own that and be able to keep on telling yourself, I'm enough. I am inherently enough as I am and who I am. And I think that's such an important message, because so much of what we learn along the way, as we said, through our parents, through our schools, has an angle to it, you know, but only if this and only if that. And I think when you were talking at the beginning about, you know, is this a woman's thing? It's an everybody thing. Men may have the message, they may have a different set of narratives, but I would guarantee they're still tied into that you're not enough. You're not man enough unless you do this, unless you do that, unless you, right? So it still comes back to the same, I'm not enough.
Definitely.
And what does that look like?
Definitely. No, and we have seen it as well in any culture, and how, you know, the sexes need to operate in order to be fully representative of whatever. I mean, there is so much to talk about when it comes to conditioning regarding I'm not enough. It's unbelievable. And it is a shame, because this is what takes away, like, from having full-blown wonderful people doing wonderful work, because they are in their own way, they are holding themselves back, and they just can't see basically the tree from the forest, you know, when it comes to this.
And also there is, and I think this is also where it comes in about our willingness to be vulnerable, because when we choose to be vulnerable, it's like, you can see me and I'm going to allow you to see me with my wounds, with whatever it is, and it's uncomfortable, I don't like it, but I feel like if I show up this way, then you kind of know who you've got in front of you. And I think that really does confirm that I know that I'm enough. Like, I've got all this stuff. Yeah, you may like me for it, you may dislike me for it, you may hate me for it, you may do lots of things for it. But the reality is, I'm owning it, I'm taking it, and I'm okay with sharing parts of it. I don't have to share everything, because I know that I'm enough, because I know that I'm enough. Those things do not define who I am at source.
Absolutely. And also, it's not sustainable. If you don't show up authentically you, okay, you can create that facade, but it doesn't really make any sense. It's not sustainable. It will always be an issue. And the thing with this is coming back to what we say about, even if you manage to hold that construct together in your heart, you will know, and imagine how much hurt that will do, because the inner judgment doesn't stop. Like everybody else might think you're absolutely wonderful.
Yes.
But what happens with you when you are talking with you? That is a very different discussion,
Yeah, definitely. And it is that almost like you go into almost self-attack mode, because now it's just like, not only am I putting on the mask, not only am I almost, pretending, even if I'm doing it brilliantly well, now I've got all these people convinced of something that isn't even real, that isn't even me. So now we have that, there's another layer, a whole other layer there that, now what do I do with that? So, I mean, for me, what I want to kind of underline with this is this I'm not enough comes up for so many people. And to me, it's like, just go back to the root and keep on reaffirming to yourself that I was born enough. I am enough. It's not about what I do. It's not about what I say. The things that I've done and said that I don't like or that I'm not happy with, I have the opportunity to do differently going forward. I can change my habits, my behaviors. I can change my thoughts. And either I'm willing to do that or not. Fundamentally, at the heart of me, I'm enough.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then you are in peace, actually, because you know that, okay, whatever I do, I will do my best, but it will be me, and that's okay.
Yes. And actually, if you can get to that place, and all the things like trying to do everything perfectly and, trying to be in control of every single thing, floods away. It lets go, because now you're just like, I'm just enough. I don't have to keep on trying to do all this stuff and trying to do it all perfectly, trying to rule everything, trying to have the last word all the time, trying to be right all the time. I can let all of that go and breathe.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's like only talking about the way, like it's sort of like, it gives you a headache, it's like, how many things can I juggle? How many things can I keep in the air to show that perfect image that I want to show and stuff? I mean, the moment that goes away, you really can start doing the work, right?
Absolutely. And I think we see it a lot, I'm not going to go into any of the stories, but I think we see it a lot on social media, this like holding it together, creating this perfect lifestyle looking thing that's going on, or whatever that is. And then at some point you hear about this awful thing that's happened to the person, and you just think, there was somebody who was so lost in the trying to tick all of these boxes to please everybody else, also a lot of the time, lost in it all. And we that's not living. That's not who we are. That's not what we're here to do. So I think that the I'm not enough can be incredibly damaging. And if you are using that, if you find yourself thinking that, feeling that, it's to really go back to the root of who you are before all of the stories came in. And just remember and keep on telling yourself, I am enough. And I'm not saying that will work on its own, just saying that I am enough, but reinforcing it and looking for the signs that support it as opposed to the signs that don't.
Absolutely. And I think this is like a key advice for anything. You can find signs for anything you're focusing on. So try and focus on the good things. Tell yourself a better story and find the signs for that, because you can, and why not?
Yeah, absolutely. If it upgrades the quality of your life, how you're living, absolutely, why not? Why wouldn't you? Yeah. Okay, so let's go on to phrase 2. So the again, these tie in. Who am I to do this? So this is far more, I'm going to say, much more aligned with the hyperachiever, potentially the avoider, even. Who am I to do this? When you have this opportunity or tasked with this thing, it's like, but literally, I'm not enough. Who am I to do this? I would say, who are you not to do it? Because if it's come knocking on your door, it's come knocking on your door for a reason.
And okay, you can also say, who am I to do this? If not you, then who?
Yeah.
And why? Why somebody else would do it better? If you don't have the capabilities for it, or you don't, you are interested to learn them, go for it. If you feel that this is not you, this is not who, then see what it is, or who, who can help to get you to that state. So there is always, it's not about, okay, anyone can do anything. Potentially, that's not the case, but it's like, what is it that you really want to do, really, really, really want to do, and you cannot do?
Yeah.
And if it is like, okay, I don't know if I would be interested in becoming astronaut, and now I cannot. I mean, these extreme things that we say to ourselves, okay, fine. I mean, if you had that as a dream, if when you were a child, potentially you would have taken very different steps to what you took to get to that result. So let's not become unreasonable in the way that we are thinking about things and dismiss everything.
Yeah.
Because not everything goes in the same bucket, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. But the other part to that, and this is, which I find fascinating, is like more and more I'm seeing stories of people in their 70s and their 80s doing like stuff that, I'd always dreamt, but I just never thought it would happen. And you kind of go through, and it's not going to happen. Then an opportunity came, and I just seized it, because it is literally, if not now, when, right? So,
absolutely.
And so I think that, who am I to do this? You are the person who the opportunity has come to. You can say yes or no, and that's completely your choice. Just be mindful about saying no because you don't think that you're enough, versus saying no because actually it doesn't feel aligned, or it doesn't feel right, or that's a very different feeling to thinking that you're not enough. And if I go back over my career, my life, and I think about things that came my way, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, right? What? And then however, I guess the adventurer in me, and potentially my restless, would just be like, yeah, go do it, it'll be fun, go try it out. And I'm really grateful, because this is where we get to see how our saboteurs, when they're working for our good, they absolutely can support us and help us to do stuff. So I'm incredibly thankful that my restless would sometimes get me to go and try things out that I'd be thinking, I don't even know if I can do that. It would just be like, go do it, go try it out. As opposed to it working from that state of restlessness where I'm trying to do 2,000 things, and that is just not going to happen. So, who am I to do this? Who are you not to do this? And if not now, when? So really look at your opportunities and really think about, does this feel aligned? Does this feel like I may not have everything I need to do it, but I'm willing to be resourced to do it? So like you were saying, Evie, do I need to learn something? Do I need to have a conversation with someone? Do I need a mentor to help me make this happen? What's the missing piece that, if I go looking for it, will allow me to do this thing or accept this opportunity, and then go do it?
Absolutely.
One micro step at a time.
100%. And this is it. It's like, it's not about doing or not doing something. It's more about giving yourself the permission to explore it and see whether you really want to do it. I mean, we have started with so many ideas and things, like even, you know, from when we were young, but, you know, even towards our middle ages, towards the middle ages, that, you know, we are like, you know, we started with something that we really wanted to do, or we really thought we would be okay with, and then, you know, it became this big thing that really lost our own interest. So, you know, drop this. That's absolutely fine. There is no reason to keep on keeping on for something that you know it's not going to work.
Indeed.
Also, but you need to ensure that this is, you know, like coming from inside you. You have this thing that, okay, this did not work, fine, what can I learn from it, and where can I go next? Because this is growth.
Yes.
If you just sit in the corners and no, that's not for me, that's not for me, that's not for me, this then is stagnation. So we need to recognize those, and we need to recognize how we act or react to this type of scenarios. And it is so right, Yvonne. All these saboteurs, in essence, we call them saboteurs, but they are us, like giving us instructions, us saving us from whatever, us like
trying to keep us safe, generally.
Us moving us forward, or keeping us stagnant, or even moving us backwards. So the bottom line is, if we know those voices, we know who we are, we can use that in a very helpful way for us and for the people around us and the people we want to serve at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think, and you actually said it, is that with this particular one, who am I to do this? This is about giving yourself permission, one, to take up space, and be willing and able to do that through exploring. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know everything. Everything doesn't have to be laid out, or I must have this list of things. It's like, what is missing, I can go find, but just be willing enough to explore. I think that for me is the key thing, and I know that, again, that you're already enough. And that if the opportunity has come up for you now, it's come up for you now for a reason. You just need to decide whether it's the right thing for your focus or not. But not be thinking, you know, who am I? That's a whole other question. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like with everything that we say when it comes to the myth busting, ask yourself, is it true? Like, you know, if you really had put your heart into something and you are facing an obstacle, and that is that like the I completely forgot the word that I want to use here, but is that like the evidence you want for that shows you that you cannot do it, or is it the evidence you want that it shows you that, well, you know, there is something to learn and move ahead? It's like, you know, what meaning do you give it?
Yes. Oh my goodness, absolutely. Gosh, even if I look back over my life and I think about all of the opportunities that I've had, whether it's meeting somebody, whether it's actually doing something, going somewhere, if every time those opportunities came up and I said to myself, who am I to do this, from a perspective that I'm not enough, wow, I would have lost so much content from my life. I would have lost so much rich content from my life, because every time I decided to to do something anyway, regardless of whether I thought I was ready or not, but it felt right. The gains, the wins have been, I can't count the gains and the wins. And they are all part of who have shaped me to who I am today. And that includes all the mistakes.
Absolutely.
So it's all good. So give yourself permission. Give yourself permission and stop worrying or thinking about, whether there's somebody else who's better positioned or better whatever to do that thing. If it's come to you, this is a little bit about me and how I feel about the universe. If it's come to you for a reason. Then you get to decide what you want to do with it, how you shape it.
No, I completely agree with that, because I mean, the reason why things are coming your way is because you have started something somewhere, and this is what you're attracting. So it's important to have your heart and your eyes open to see what are these, what can they teach you, how you can move forward with this knowledge or this type of opportunity. So yeah 100%.
100%. And I think and just to touch on, just to add, because you said something there that you've said before, is also, be aware of what you're attracting, because if you keep on attracting things that are not serving you or are not beneficial, what is that energy? What is it that you keep on focusing on that may be drawing those things in? Right, again, because it works both ways. It can be drawing in all of these lots of great, wonderful stuff. It could also be drawing in not so great and wonderful stuff. What is it that I'm focusing on? Where am I, in some shape or form, focused on worry, stress, hate, anger? Is there something underlying that keeps on pulling in this stuff? And being able to identify it, right?
Absolutely. Well,
yeah. We're good.
We're good. Because if
we're good.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. Listen, you know what I love about these moments, Evie, is just having the opportunity, as we keep on looking at these myths and busting them, is, I mean, I love my time with you anyway, but it's a conversation, it's a chat, and it's open. So we welcome the comments that do come in, and we don't necessarily see them at the time, so that's why we don't respond. But when we get to see them afterwards, we really do, because it's, for me, even if we're reaching 1, 2, 3 people, and they're suddenly thinking about things differently or willing to look at things through a different lens, then that's service. And we're using this to serve in some shape or form.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's always nice, even for us, to remember to continually be on the lookout for those limitations, because none of us is immune to those. We are conditioned, whether we like it or not. There are certain things from our past that we cannot just say, okay, they don't exist.
Yeah.
So it is great that we are here, that we are discussing this, that we exchange this type of ideas with each other. And I equally love my time with you, Yvonne, and exchange these ideas with you. And if you feel that there is something that you don't agree, well, comment, let us know. Let's see what is the other perspective. What could be something that we have missed? So
and what's the different interpretation of what's your experience? And if you're like, oh my gosh, but that is me, and I do that, great, well, let's hear from you too. Share the stories, because that also helps others. This is all about helping each other, and again, opening and saying it's okay to say that actually, most of my life has been run on this thing or these things, and I'm done with them. I need something to change, because that's also what the invitation of permission to thrive is that if you're done with all of these myths running your life, taking you in directions frustrating you, fatiguing you, then we're offering the opportunity for you to do things differently, to take a different approach. And so with that, I'm going to close us off by saying at Permission to Thrive, we're here to help you break free from the narratives that keep you caged.
With grace, not grind.
100%. Evie, as always, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. See you next week.
See you next week.